here, that those early adapter spoils are what we're in it for here in the province of Ontario. In this room today, I don't know all of you, but I know some of you. And I know some of you from other sectors, and I know that you have transitioned your skills from those sectors to support, as an example, financing in this sector, or electricians who now see a broader array of opportunity that has grown. These are the stories of everyday Ontario, and they are happening everywhere in the province of Ontario. But they are not being told well enough, widely enough, and they are not being told passionately enough. I understand politics pretty well, I think. I've been on the good side of it, and I've been on the bad side of it. But what I know for sure is that a reasoned argument that is based both on good information and research, and at the same time based on a strong emotive connection, holds all of the promise that we need, that we can convince the people of the province of Ontario to remain dedicated to the plan that has put them in the lead in North America. Not without the trials and tribulations that you're experiencing every day, and I don't mean to discount those at all. But I think what the real question is for all of us that are in this room is not how long will it take for the OPA to fix that, and when is this local distribution company going to get its act together, but rather the question that must be placed squarely in your minds is, will we have a government in Ontario after October the 6th that even cares to be a leader? Will we have a government that has the commitment and the courage to make sure that we do not give back the leads that we have given? These are the issues that are at stake, and today I come before you to implore you to focus just a little bit more of your attention on what is at stake, and to find the ways to go about your work and to encourage people that are under your influence, economically or otherwise, to let them know how much is at stake, and to let them know that associated with the emergence of this sector is an expectation that we rise up and that we act together, and that we speak loudly and firmly in a fashion, a style, and a size commensurate with the scale and scope of the opportunity here in the province of Ontario. I believe fervently, fundamentally in the idea, as put forward by a company like Samsung in that article with Tyler Hamilton, that when you look at Ontario on the world map, you never could imagine it as a place where a politician, in seek of some votes, could actually, a conservative politician no less, who like to talk about themselves as the party favored and imbued with the characteristics and support of free enterprise, that could suggest that a contract entered into might not be a contract fulfilled. I don't accept for a second that as a premise. The Samsung story, for the first time, actually put it out there, and I think it gives all of us a good lesson and a good message in moving forward. I have nothing but confidence about the future in the province of Ontario, because I believe fundamentally that the people in the cities and the towns and the neighborhoods across Ontario who are seeing new opportunities come to life, who hear their kids talk with interest and enthusiasm about the prospects of working in a sector, a green sector, a sector of the future, that this is essential to the transformation of the Ontario economy. Is not to pretend, again, like I said twice, and I'll say one more time because I get it. There are many challenges out there, and many of you so far have seen your dollars go out, and you haven't seen too much of them come in. You've seen a lot of your energy go out, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to see where that's being realized. But this is the time for all of us, with a steely determination and a stiffened spine, to speak up on behalf of our fledgling sector. The tens of thousands of jobs that are being created, the economic opportunities that are giving people more hope that their kids will stay on the family farm, and all of those other economic implications for First Nations people, for groups of people clustered in communities. There are all across this province, in small pockets and in large, people who believe fundamentally in what we're up to. But the obligation on all of our parts is not to get so enamored of today's engineering report or that email that we have to send off to the OPA to lose sight of our fundamental obligation, and it is to fight. Our fundamental obligation is to put forward our case with passion and, like I said before, with ideas, with research, with a firmness of information, and also at all times deeply rooted in the understanding that there is an emotional connection which cannot easily be broken between the people of the province of Ontario, who can celebrate that they, through their efforts and through support of progressive government, have created an environment where coal is no longer required to give us reliability of electricity supply. This is an aspirational goal. All across the world, other jurisdictions would look at Ontario's situation with a sense of promise and a sense of hopefulness and a sense that we have here embarked on something that puts us in the lead. I like auto racing, and I like leads, and I don't like giving them up. And I think accordingly, the implication is there for all of us to do more than we've done so far. And especially to find ways, like I mentioned before, to move forward in a more unified voice. So one of the things that's frustrated me very much as I witnessed over the last 6 months was the renewable energy sector got a little bit on its heels. Sometimes it was solar finding a way to criticize wind, and on other days it was wind finding a way to criticize solar. It seems to me that wind and solar play well together in an energy supply mix, and renewable energy plays well together in any fight against fossil fuels. And I think it's our obligation as leaders to seek at all times to find common cause and to link arms and to be stronger together than to find a way to let ourselves off the hook at the expense of someone who might also have a way to criticize our efforts. These behaviors do not have their place in our Ontario. Here in Ontario, the feed-in tariff is creating billions of dollars of economic activities and untold opportunities for Ontario to emerge as a leader, not just for the supply of our own sector, but so that companies like Sky Power, as an example, can get a firm footing here and take those skills to other jurisdictions. I, for one, do not want to see those things lost, and I, for one, will do all I can to implore people to get out there and to voice with all of the passion and capacity that they have how important this sector is to the survival of the province of Ontario. And I will close by talking one last bit about political tactics. And I think that the issue at hand, as I told you before, the ballot question for all of us must be, will we have a government after October the 6th that's interested still in returning our calls? That's interested still in resolving the issues, even if we may have frustrations with how things are going at MOE or M&R or OPA and all of that. And I totally get it. But I just will offer this, maybe it'll be a good analogy, and maybe I'll torture it, I don't know. But you know, I'm one of those that, see, now I'm not an elected politician, I can talk about foreign affairs. And perhaps it'll demonstrate why I'm not an elected politician. But I looked at the situation in Libya. I never could understand why the West coddled Muammar Gaddafi. I get that people have strategic interests and fossil fuel makes you do some crazy things. But I'm really actually one of those that stand a little bit awestruck that this guy is still alive. That actually he's able to maintain some semblance of governmental control in vast swaths of that country, notwithstanding thousands of sorties by the most sophisticated aircraft known to humankind. But the answer is found in the fact that they're running a campaign there, which is an air war. And an air war alone is oftentimes not going to cut it. And I say to all of you, some of whom have probably knocked on doors, maybe not, some of whom maybe are inclined to speak up or write letters to their friends, and some of whom are not, maybe know about the modern tools of communication today, including this thing called the internet and this other more devious thing called Facebook. But it seems to me that as I look out upon this room, and this room could be replicated dozens and dozens and dozens of times over all across the province of Ontario, that if you actually look deeply at your own capabilities and ask yourself, what am I doing to bring all of the influence that I can to bear, there is a shitload of power yet to be unharnessed. And I say to all of you who had the idea that they're going to go golfing on Friday or take 3 weeks off at the cottage, that just a few more hours dedicated to the survival of this sector, by using all of the power of persuasion that you have, by using your database, by using your phone contacts and letters to the editor, by knocking on doors in a way that is informed by the reality that you know and the emotion that is on your side, that we have a story to tell. The last word has not been written, no votes have been cast, and the future remains bright for a province, Ontario, which has been staked through good leadership on the part of a government and the support of the people, to a lead in a sector which will emerge in the next decades to be of a size that Ontario cannot afford to miss out on. We've all come through some hard times. I just came from the United States. The only thing is they haven't come through them. In so many places there is nothing that gives them a sense of optimism and hope that they're turning the corner, that there's been anything in all of the loss and devastation and economic hardship about transformational change. Here in Ontario, we know a different story. We're on the cusp of it. You're all leaders in it, and it is our obligation to do all we can to fight for it. Thank you.
I'd like to thank George for a very inspiring speech, and a lot of dedication and hard work has gone into getting us all in this room through his efforts, and it is remarkable. I'd like to give him a hand.